Welcome back, Julie. I am so excited to be digging deeper with you. We talked about women in the economy, primarily women in business, leadership, and how women lead, and how we can hone in on the tools that we have to lead. And so I'm super pumped because we're going to be chatting and jumping in how we can individually hone those leadership skills.
Absolutely. We talked before about the fact that it is possible to develop your leadership skills. It's not just something you're born or made with. Instead, you develop them continually. So I think that I would think about, three different ways to develop your leadership at the high level. First and foremost, one of the hallmarks of the Tobias Leadership Center is that we believe in diversity in leadership. And let me explain what I mean by that, because people think of diversity as, numbers of different representation you have, et cetera. But what we mean when we talk about diversity in leadership is that you need to see leadership from all the perspectives of industries, sectors, places. So it is wonderful to have the ability to work with a leadership group within your own industry, or a women in business group, or a women in Greater Indianapolis group. But really make sure that you're taking the time to think about what leadership looks like to somebody in an industry or a sector or community different than your own. Because you'll find more commonalities than not, but seeing leadership through a different lens really offers a unique way to understand your own leadership challenges and responses. So one of the things, for instance, that we do with the Tobias Fellows is bring in a group from Canada who talks about leadership by using a pit crew and going through changing tires on a car. Mm-hmm. You can learn a lot of leadership from that experience, believe it or not. It sounds corny, but it is really impactful. So really make sure you're getting that 360 look on what leadership is, whether that's podcasts or, and one of the resources we have on our website is we have oral histories of leaders who talk about their leadership journey from all over the country and world. And that's another way to get perspective from higher education leaders, business leaders, et cetera. So that's the first one. And it was a really important one.
Yeah. Do you mind if I jump in with a quick question on that?
Oh, please.
Okay. So as somebody who still does like a lot of informational interviews, because I am a young leader who wants to better my leadership, is there a question or a key question that you have heard or that is really good to ask when speaking with somebody who is in a leadership role that is very different from yours or has more experience? I've found that, especially in marketing, even like there's some key questions that you really want to make sure you ask a lot of different people. Is there a question with leadership?
So I think it's a question that you have to sort of tailor to your own experience and challenges. Because we talked about, you love the marketing, but maybe finance and accounting wasn't perfect for you, right? So it has to be based on what is your own leadership challenge. But this is the question that I would ask all leaders is, this is where I feel challenged. How do you think about that challenge? What would you bring to it to help hold me accountable to make sure that I follow through and really move through that challenge that I have? And, we work in what we call peer accountability groups, where we get feedback from our peers on making sure we rise to maybe some of those challenging moments. And I think asking leaders, how would you hold me accountable to rise to this challenging moment, is when you will find out how they're challenged and how they bring a perspective to leadership challenges.
I love that. It's such a great template, and like you said, personalizing it to what you need and what you're facing at that time, but a very nice kind of plug and chug depending on who you're speaking with, so thank you. Alright, hit me with number 2.
Okay, number 2 is establish your values and know your values and live your values as a leader every day, every way. Not one value today and the second value the next day or next week. Every value, every day, all the time.